So you don't know. You keep going for family.
I'm not family.
No. You're cargo.
Why are you so important?
Somewhere out west. They're working on a cure. I think what really impressed them was the fact that I didn't turn into a monster.
If she so much as twitches. Don't.
Okay.
If I'm taking you with me, do what I say when I say it.
You have a greater purpose than any of us could have ever imagined.
Be careful who you put your faith in.
You might not be her father, but you're someone's.
Okay. I'm sitting there like I'm talking. I noticed that my damn mic ain't on. Excuse me if I look like I got any lagging going on. I don't know what's be up with my signal, but as long as y'all can hear me clear. Welcome back, though. We are live, and we got another TV show review for y'all. We're trying to come in heavy with the reviews, and we got The Last of Us. Appreciate y'all coming through. What's going on, Nadia?
But
Appreciate you coming through.
mm,
We got another one, man. I've been kind of talking about this. I've been having my opinions on this. As far as Twitter, I've been kind of sharing my thoughts. As far as I've been hearing people saying, as far as being one of the best episodes, one of the best series out. This is a good show. Not even only for it being a video game adaptation or whatever. It's just a good show all around. So we don't have our Resident Evils. Whether it's been my girl Mila Jovovich. I mean, think about if you played Resident Evil, the game, which I did play, and I'm talking about at the beginning, way at the great PlayStation, when the original Resident Evil. So when you even look at this cover with this movie coming out, you like, nigga, this ain't Resident Evil.
yeah, it was set in Resident Evil universe. That's how it was. That's it.
We got a couple named characters and a couple of creatures that you remember from the game, and that's it. We didn't get none of the scary atmosphere. We didn't get none of that, like,
They turned
bullets
it
running
into an
out.
action movie. No, they made it straight up action. Cause like
Yeah.
even when it started, I was like, "What the fuck is going? Is this not hard? Is this not hard?"
Not only is it not horror, is it not survival horror? Like, these is
Yeah.
supposed to be tense. Like, what's going on? What's going to happen next? No, she got superpowers. But anyway, we got them trying to do something different with Resident Evil. We got a whole nother movie coming out talking about Welcome to Raccoon City. That's trash. I didn't even go all the way through that. I started probably 20 minutes in, and I still to this day have not watched all of that movie. It is trash. Of course. Make sure y'all go over there and check out our review of the Resident Evil Netflix. You know, we got my boy Blade coming in, a.k.a. Albert Whisker. That was just enough. I mean, they had some good things starting off.
They
tried.
they had some good moments. They had some good
They did.
concepts, and for it to being set in Resident Evil universe and not being Resident Evil, you know what I mean? Like they weren't trying to adapt the video game again. They were just
Not having like original characters. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
They tried to do that with Albert Whisker.
Yeah.
I forgot. But yeah, shout out to my man coming through with the Tyler Perry wig. Yeah, that didn't work. But speaking of just series based on live video games, Resident Evil, that wasn't it. This one though, I have not played this. I've never played it. I ain't got a PlayStation, but overall, I ain't never played The Last of Us. So I'm going into this with fresh eyes. I don't know too much about what's going on. I have watched video gameplay here and there, or whatever. But as far as the story, I'm not that familiar with it. Well, what about you, Nadia? As far as The Last of Us, the game?
I knew it existed. That was it. My nephew plays it, but like I've never seen it. I mean, because like they live across country. I just know that he played the game. I don't know. I didn't ever see him play the game, so I've never seen any of the gameplay, and I just vaguely knew what the story was about. So like, oh, I knew it was gonna get crazy because like the internet spoiled everything for you.
Yeah. And even with the second video game, The Last of Us 2, like I don't know nothing about. I'm like, what's going on? But you can see people just saying stuff about it here and there, and I'm like, damn, I almost damn near know what's up with The Last of Us 2, and I ain't even played none of that. That's why I'm so familiar with at least Joel and Ellie as far as those names. But we do get into this first season, starting off with this news broadcast, starting off in 1968, where they're kind of talking about pandemics or whatever. And it's kind of a foreshadowing of things to come.
Bruh, the fact that what he was saying scientifically and it makes sense. I'm just like, bruh. But honestly speaking, scientifically, if that was to happen, they would consume the animals first. Because it would be easier to get to them. Plus, it's already something that can happen to animals. You know what I mean? Like, did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that? Yeah, I mean, it's still not to that effect, but yes, it does make the animals harm themselves. It don't make them try to spread the fungi. It just makes them harm themselves and be like living,
some type of living fungus.
Yeah, it
Watching
actually
that
exists.
scene where they coming out the ground, and I'm like, oh my god, what
The plausibility of this is what makes it even more creepy because it's just like, bruh, but the earth is heating up. What if they do start mutating to survive? Because like, think about all the food that we eat. Half the food that we ain't even the food that our parents ate. You know what I mean? Because
especially the stuff that's that process.
Oh hell yeah! That's why people got high blood pressure, diabetes, and our life expectancy is basically at like 75 now because of the food we eat.
And them homemade Bojangle biscuits, come on, man.
Right, them butter
Anyway.
right, sir. Look, see, just fucking with the South. We eat too much damn bread down here. We all would have been fucking infected on day.
Man,
like,
out of here. Especially with it being that Bojangles is kind of based in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Shit! Hell yeah, we out of here.
We fast forward from the 60s to 2003, early 2000s. Shout out to Get Rich or Die Trying. This when they came out. My bad, I ain't know. But anyway, but that ain't got nothing to do with this. We are introduced to Joel and his daughter Sarah. We also introduced to another character named Tommy. Well, I don't think they do too much or say anything too much about what's going on with the mother.
Yeah.
But we just get really familiar with their relationship, and this is a good thing as far as just the character development, getting to know these two. And once again, I ain't played the video game, so I don't know what's coming. I'm just thinking, okay, I know I know some shit about to go down as far as not apocalypse, but pandemic or whatever, and I know the virus or fungus shit gonna hit or whatever.
I didn't see that coming, but once he was on the walkie-talkie, I was like, he gonna tell them that. I knew it. I was like, because like everything, honest to goodness, everything that the military was doing in these episodes thus far, I am not fucking surprised, not one bit. I was not shocked at all. I'm like, I expect nothing less from America to do the things that they're doing in this show. I promise to God. And I know people be like, seriously? And I'm like, yes, it's survival. Like, nobody's gonna be trying to help anybody.
And to me, that's one of the things outside of shows or whatever, when it comes to these type of things, where you got this virus or something starting to happen, zombie apocalypse, whatever. Not saying that that's happening, but I'm just saying that ain't the scariest part as far as the zombies or even with these monsters or whatever. Humans, people are gonna be the scariest part to me, honestly.
People blindly following orders. That's because
that would be the scariest part to me.
I was so triggered throughout the first 20 minutes of this damn first episode because like it just brought back COVID memories, and like people, I remember like, because I got friends in the military, so I remember them arguing with people online about military people following orders. And I'm like, so y'all mean to tell me if they tell y'all to do some shit that you don't feel is ethically right, you're just gonna follow orders? And that's why I've never joined the military, because I'm just like, I cannot. I got too many fucking questions. I used to get mad when I was a kid and I get in the car with an adult and they wouldn't tell me where I was going. The fuck, why not? Why can't I know where we going? Like,
Understandable,
right?
especially with somebody you ain't familiar with.
Nah, I mean, it was never like that, but like, even like with my parents, like, where we going? And they would never tell me, and I was like, what the fuck is the big secret? Like,
If
just
we ride,
tell
let's
me where the
ride.
fuck we
As long as it's
going.
my parents, let's go.
No, I got questions. See, and I cannot blindly follow orders. I cannot put my ethics aside for the shit that you gonna tell me that you want me to do. And that's why I've never joined any type of unit. Nah.
But, you get a lot of somewhat foreshadowing as far as seeing like military jets and a lot of things going on throughout the neighborhood once his daughter is going to school and stuff. But it's when she goes to her neighbor and she's doing something, and you can kind of see the lady in the wheelchair twitching or whatever in the background a little bit. I didn't know what was going on at that moment, but I knew something was up. Once again, I don't watch movies like 28 Days Later and all of that. It becomes nighttime, and her father actually has to go somewhere as far as Joel to pick somebody up out of jail. I think it's Tommy he had to go bail out.
Yeah, he did.
And this is another good intimate moment, too, kind of showing their relationship. I think she had got some type of movie for him or something. And just showing how she's always waiting and just wanting to chill with him or whatever, and just showing that bond they really have as far as Sarah and Joel. Once again, kind of giving you that dread that build up. Something about to happen. Something gonna go down. But this is my only thing with this. With everything that happened. Because when the chaos happens, and how did you feel as far as once you see them start to turn, as far as this old lady, when she actually starts to turn, I'm guessing to the zombies, as you want to call it, or an infected. I guess I'm going to say infected, because she wasn't necessarily dead yet. And by the way, I don't know if anybody else seen World War Z, but the way they body movements were, as far as the people that was infected, it kind of remind me of the way they moved on World War Z.
Okay, my thing is like, is this giving them like some type of super strength or something? Because when they were being chased, I'm like, is the fungus limited to the person's body? Because that's an old lady and you can outrun her. Run your little 14-year-old ass fat. Get your ass moving, little girl. I was like, because I was.
And the way. What about the way they biting or eating people? They was on some like Blade 2 shit. Y'all remember them vampires from Blade 2 and the way they come out their mouth? That's what it was.
That was.
It's nasty
weird.
looking. And when they, I guess infected and they try to cut their skin or whatever, you can see the inside after they infected. That shit was nasty. All that is nasty. What's the inside of it? Because they ain't even bleeding or nothing. It's just like some type of.
The fungus that took over. The fungus has basically taken over the human tissue and is keeping it alive, but also feeding on it.
Nasty.
Yo, that shit is weird. Like that, ultimate parasite.
Shout out to y'all using, I guess, the real prosthetics or whatever. That kind of reminded me of the Thing type of shit. Like,
But yeah, let's talk about the irresponsibility. I mean, I get that she's 14, she can be left alone because she was like 14, right? The fact that she went to the city and got on the bus and shit, she old enough to get around. Like she like 14, but like
and it's something like they seem like they familiar with, and it's the regular thing.
Yeah, I was just like, he left her at home in the middle of the night though, like, and I was like, I get it because she's 14 and. But like the panic on her face when she woke up when shit was going down, and like even though she don't really like her neighbors, and she was just like, I need an adult though because I'm 14 and I'm kind of scared because I don't know what's going on and I don't know where my dad is. He leave a note and like a text message or something, like damn it, like it's just like I could just feel the panic. Like I was like, bruh, my anxiety right fucking now. I can't. And I was like, see, this is why I don't watch shit like this, because like and this is why I don't play video games like this. My anxiety level at that moment was just, I was like, yeah.
And I get what
I'm
you're
in
saying.
pain.
At the same time, it kind of seemed like this is something that happens kind of often, because even with him getting that phone call, it's like, again, come on, man, again.
Yeah.
Like, but in the midst of that, we do get her going to the next door neighbor. And that's when we get this whole big attack scene, and we get our first kind of infected person, which is being an old lady. And this is when Joel and Tommy pull up. And Joel and Tommy, you can tell already done seen some shit done went down, and they tell her, just get in the truck. Don't go pack nothing, don't go do nothing. Just get in the truck. I'm like, damn, Joe. You could tell he was like, I don't want to take nobody else, because he told the neighbor, yo, you go back in the house. I'm like,
Right?
No, man,
No, fuck that. No. Oh my God, hell no. Because
Come
like
on, Joe.
I feel them on that, and then like being a black person in an apocalyptic situation. Fuck no, I'm not helping no goddamn body.
He got to make sure his baby's straight. But he was like, yo, you going back in the house. I'm like, Joe, you see what's going on? Wait a minute, they need to leave too.
But bruh,
He's like, nah,
no.
go back in the house. And you can see
Go
in the
back in
background
the-
that they getting attacked.
Yep.
If you paid attention, they getting attacked also.
I mean, were you about to get the name? No. Hell no.
But it's a lot of mayhem going on. And shout out to the budget behind this, because, man, when you talking about seeing planes coming down and shit, like everything is just going done. It's like almost on some 2012 shit as far as like, you know, them apocalyptic movies, Day After Tomorrow. That's what it was looking like. Besides having infected people running around.
But to me, it was more realistic. You get what I'm saying? Versus like all this stage action drama, explosion, this car flipping.
That's why I
this
kind of
was more.
reminded me World War Z. I don't know if you ever seen it, but it's a
No,
lot.
I never seen World War
This first
Z.
beginning of this happens just the same way. It's a movie with Brad Pitt, but it's a zombie movie somewhere.
Oh, I know what it's about. I just never seen it. I'm not a zombie movie person. It takes a lot to get me interested in some zombie stuff. So
with everything going on, and once again, I did care about Joel and Ellie, and I didn't want them to die. I didn't want nothing to happen to them. Still, was this making you feel like, was this grabbing you? With everything going on as far as the show, was it grabbing you? Was it?
I told you, nigga, I'm about to have a panic attack over here. Cause I'm just thinking about like if I was a child or if my children had to deal with it. Like think about that. Think about some end of the world shit start happening and like your children are scared, but you scared too because it's like but you can't act like you scared and you just come on, get your shit. Let's go.
And that's why I'm talking about this whole end of the world shit and being one of the scariest things to me is human. Like I know I treat a creature or something like I treat an animal. Like I know what they're gonna do. They do, but I don't know what you gonna do as far as this. The reason I brought that up though, as far as how this grabs you, and that's what I was talking about with The Walking Dead, is that this had me. I was involved. I was engaged, but the same way I compare this first episode, I kind of compared it to that first episode of The Walking Dead, and it's the way it grabbed me. It's so much going on in this first episode of Walking Dead. Getting introduced to two characters, not seeing one character for a long time, but as far as these two main characters, as far as Rick and Morgan, it's what's involved in this episode. The fact that you got a son and a father pretty much trying to survive an apocalypse after, well, not really an apocalypse, because this kind of the early stages of what's going on with the zombie apocalypse, but it's what they are going through and the fact that their mother is infected and he is letting her pretty much live as a zombie. But this kind of the early stages of smart zombies too, and I ain't gonna get too much into that because that's kind of the late things with Walking Dead or whatever. But it's just the way this episode grabs you in it, the way it's brutal as it is. You got somebody taking out a whole child that turned into a zombie and killing them in this first episode, as far as The Walking Dead.
Damn.
And this is letting you know what you intended for. And this is the early, way back then. This was 2000. I forgot what year this came out as far as this first season. But this is when TV kind of was like, yo, we're going to let y'all do what y'all do as far as showing like some extra gory stuff on TV.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things too as far as this. And I heard about how brutal this game was, but I feel like this first episode didn't go there far. Besides watching what happened when Joel and his daughter run into the soldiers, because they truck crashed pretty much after this plane pretty much crashed into the middle of the street and explode. And him and his daughter get separated from Tommy, and they run into this soldier. And you can tell when he's on his intercom, he's pretty much getting orders like, you got to take them out. I don't care who they is, or whatever they might.
Honestly, the person that gave him the orders is making sense because she was injured. And they don't know if the injury was from a bite or something like that, because it was at her ankle. So she could have like got grabbed and bit. So he just like, she injured and you carrying her, like, nah, y'all both gotta go because y'all could both possibly be infected. So like, I get the orders and how, but like the fact that this nigga just really shot at a man and his child, it was like, fuck both of y'all. Like, just accepting those orders, doing it and following through. Damn.
I'm not gonna front. This is where it got me because I did not see. But I seen maybe you didn't get him getting grazed or whatever, but he got to get his daughter and they got to get up out of there.
I knew.
Yeah,
because as soon as he was on the thing, I was like, nah, he about to shoot. Bruh, and I'm just like, he couldn't even like, he didn't have time to, because he carrying a 14-year-old child. Remember, this is not a toddler. This is not a baby. This is a girl.
Yeah, he moving off adrenaline, by the way.
Hell yeah.
He gotta be.
Because that car had just flipped. Man, just think about getting into a car accident and then getting up from that accident, having to carry a teenager and run. The fuck?
Once again, we're not talking about slow placing zombies. We talking about niggas looking at you like, oh shit, we about to break dance to come after yo. Like, we on. Like, you remember Thriller video with Michael Jackson? Yeah, like, that's what type of time they looked like they was on. But this is what I'm talking about as far as like the whole tent situations. When you really sitting there like, no. And Joe's daughter is shot. Like, and I ain't talking about this shot like she's dying. And I'm sitting there like,
she couldn't even talk. She was just, and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, nope. And she can't calm her breath, and that's making her hyper. She's shocked. She is shocked at that point. And then he's trying to move her. I'm like, just stop it, God
once
damn
again,
it, stop. Like, this is her last moments. Let her, like, she in enough pain.
And
like,
you were talking about taking yourself there and putting yourself in that position, and you thinking as a man, no. And like I said, just yeah.
And the fact that he had to just leave her there, just like you get what I'm saying? Like, no proper burial, no.
Shout out to the acting too.
Woo.
And, by the way, Pedro Pascal, the actor name, I'm trying to say his name right, but he out here in all types of TV shows. He doing The Mandalorian, and if y'all ain't seen him his early days, y'all need to check him out in Narcos on Netflix. That's kind of his early stages as far as TV shows. But anyway, this was a heavy hitting scene, man, because I did not expect his daughter to die. Once again, I remember the video games. I'm not familiar with them, but I done seen some gameplay here and there, and I know it's supposed to be about Joel and Ellie. And I know this is not Ellie, this is his daughter. But the way it's going, I'm thinking we're going to get some type of little adventure with them leading up into those events. No. No. I was like, damn.
Away.
But we move forward and we get 20 years later. And we pretty much in the apocalypse. This is it. This is on some Mad Max shit. The Book of Eli, like, we out here. It's all
them in there. So I don't know if Schindler's List was the first movie to do this, but like with the whole child with the with the very with the clothes on, with the girl in the in the red coat, and then that's like, to me this is what that kind of was like.
I seen that coming.
I saw it coming.
She was being so nice to him, like, you in a safe place. I said, oh no, they about to kill him. They about to kill his child.
Yes. I mean, he was infected though. He was infected, and he wasn't speaking. So that means it was a couple of days that he had been infected, because apparently you're not able to speak anymore.
Did he have the same thing going on as Ellie? I'm not familiar.
Speak every day. She can speak his may have not been. I don't know if it's something about these new generation of kids, but his wasn't apparently moving fast, because
And this is the whole fungus virus, right? And
Yeah,
the effects and what it do to you.
yeah, because with Ellie, it's not moving at all. That's why every day they told her to count to 10 and say her name, because
Okay.
like that takes cognitive behavior, and you can't just, that's not something you would be able to do if you were infected. And like I said, the fact that he wasn't talking means that the virus had spread it, but it wasn't to the point that it completely took over his body. That's what I mean about the new generation of kids, or did the virus get weaker, or what's going on? Like, I don't know. I don't know. These are my theories.
It kind of just showed just how brutal everything has become. Even seeing how Joel is now, because
So,
you
like,
see the lady going up like, I can't do this, in the way he just like, oh, I got it, boom, I'm done. But you understand it because of the
right.
situation with his daughter, and I'm already understanding immediately because I know the fact that we just seen this, and I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, this is pretty much where he is. But
Yeah, I mean, you honestly, after what he done been through and just living in the conditions that they live in, you gotta have that type of mentality. I mean, keep some morality about you, but at the same time, this at this point they ain't even people no more. That's what I feel like is, the disassociation, because you gotta give yourself
and
some
this is
type of will to live and hope for something, because damn, it's bleak.
because this is definitely the separation too from The Walking Dead, as far as Walking Dead once again was in those early stages, and The Last of Us is going into like, that's it. We don't move past all of that. We in it. Everybody done what they had to do to survive. And this is kind of Joel, because you see he's not, and moving forward to later episodes, he's not a good person. He done some shit, like some shit. And when have you seen the recent episode as far as episode 4?
Yeah, I don't watch all of them.
It's that conversation with them on the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
My bad, I didn't mean to say that, but it's with her asking Ellie, as far as asking Joel, like, have you ever killed innocent people? And he don't even want to answer her. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because he starts to go into the whole thing, when they get jumped in episode 3. No, episode.
Oh, I knew that.
This episode, episode 4, my bad.
Yeah, episode 4. Yeah, I knew that was a trap too. He told us some help, I'm hurt. No, fuck you. I've seen too many movies. It's like, nah, nigga, that's the setup. That's just like that's like getting robbed in the city because you got out of town plates. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just some street shit. Like, you not know.
But could you
Somebody
see his
just
reaction
knocking on
though
your
when
window.
she
I
was
don't
like,
fucking know you. I ain't from
put your
here.
seatbelt.
No.
Hold on. Let's go. Once again, though,
Jumped at the red light. Like, that's no.
it just grabbed my curiosity just to know the things that he has done, because he said, I was those people, as far as trying to trap people the same way they was trying to get trapped. And I was like,
Surviving.
oh, yeah.
Surviving.
But it's that whole thing where you got two maybe innocent individuals coming through, and he was doing that shit to people that wasn't even causing any trouble or trying to survive themselves. That's taking
why,
the show to something else. As far as, are we supposed to be rooting
why
for this person? That's my thing.
Honestly, in an apocalyptic situation, do you think you could keep all morality? No. You're gonna die.
Like I said,
you're gonna die. Like that. I mean, yes, you're gonna have to do shit that you don't want to do. But like at certain points, you can't just completely toss out morality. That's when you got people eating people, and I ain't saying nobody's doing that on here, but I'm talking about like as far as like other.
Not necessarily eating people, but you remember when they camping out in the woods and she like,
oh no,
we got to worry about people stealing from us. He's like, nah, they gonna do war worse than that.
Yeah, yes, and that's why, and that's why I feel like he knows some people that's done worse shit than he was doing. Besides,
and maybe he done even done it.
I don't think he was. I think he was talking about the R word. And
I'm just saying,
because think of.
Right. Oh, I got what you're saying. Oh, yeah, right. But not only just that, like you said, cannibalism, eating people, and all of that.
Oh yeah, because food is scarce. Like he was eating jerky, and she had where the fuck she get that sandwich from?
This man said we eating 20-year-old raviolis. I'm like, what could 20-year-old raviolis taste like?
Don't want to find out. I don't even want ravioli that ain't 20 years old, because like,
I just want to say throughout this review, we are going to be kind of going back and forth throughout the episodes because I'm not got it in like no lighting no format as far as going episode 1 to episode 2 to episode 3 to episode 4, since we don't see all of them.
Yeah.
But as far as still in episode 1, we do get introduced to certain characters as far as Tess and kind of our introduction to Ellie and kind of why and what's going on with her. Because the whole thing, once again, with Joel, he on demon time. He ain't trying to take care of nobody. He ain't trying to look out for nobody besides Tess because of what they done been through. And we don't get that backstory with them, but you see the two people that's been with each other pretty much leading
We're
up to the
eventually
situation.
gonna get a backstory though, right?
Probably not. I wouldn't think so.
Why the fuck not? Why the fuck Bill get a whole episode then? Nah, I went purple. I went purple on that. That was filler. It was good emotional filler.
It was.
And was it necessary?
I still didn't understand the crying, and everybody was talking about like I'm crying about this episode.
No,
I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
People cheesy. It's okay. I mean, granted, I get why someone. Oh yeah, I would get why someone would cry, but I'm just like it. Just I don't know, man. Love is.
See, my thing with this episode is it was one of the most lighter end episodes because you had two individuals that went through multiple situations in the apocalypse and was able to get to that moment of grow old together. Like they was able to do things certain people weren't able to do. Think about Joel and not being able to raise his daughter and come up. You know what I'm saying? Or think about just everybody who's dealing with these situations. Like y'all are two people and y'all able to fend off not only the infected but raiders, the people that want to try to take y'all shit. So I mean, I get, like I said, I guess the whole heartfelt
man,
things,
they got to live comfortably to get a hot meal every goddamn day.
Meal fixing steak, fresh vegetables out the garden.
Bruh,
fresh fruit.
He gave me an appreciation for preppers because I'm just like, this is how them motherfuckers is gonna be too. Just hot water.
Bill,
you get to wash your ass every day. God damn.
We got to talk about it too because this kind of goes into an even darker moment when we are even brought into this episode with Joel and Ellie as far as episode 3, long time, and we come across this grave site where Joel pretty much tell her that when the military didn't have enough room to take people, this is where they took them out. They killed them. And we're talking about anybody.
And this is sir, do you realize we live in a small town in USA? I'm just like, yes, this is exactly what the fuck they would do. Like when he told her, she was like, he was like, let's go a different way because I don't want you to see this. And she was like, why? Is it something bad? And I was like, what would it be? I said, it's either more infected or I was like, it's a massive grave. Boom. Massive
It definitely wasn't infected. I knew it was something that he didn't want to see. And I thought it was something maybe he had been a part of or had done. And he didn't want to.
Nah, as soon as he didn't act like it was infected people, I was like, oh, it's a massive grave. And I was like, I was like, either something horrible happened here or the military did it. And I'm just like, this shit is not surprising to me. Like, I'm not surprised. Because like I said, it's people blindly following orders because they're given an order to do something and they're like, I can't not follow orders. And it's like, yes,
and this is the early stages. This is 2003 because they do kind of a flashback, but they don't show it. And I was glad because I was like, man, y'all better not. Please do not show it.
Yes, they had the baby blanket. Oh my God.
I'm good. Like, I'm good. I don't need it. But
see, that's why don't believe they trying to. And like I said, triggered by COVID. Because think about if the military came in and was like, hey, we need y'all to evacuate and get y'all out, and you hop on that truck thinking you about to no.
And everybody was ready. Everybody was ready.
We get
another nasty ass infected looking scene too, because one of the infected are stuck, and this is when they kind of searching for Joe's spot because he done got some hidden things at a little spot that he's familiar with, and you got Ellie coming across one of the infected, and I'm telling you, shout out to the infects and what HBO and what they doing as far as the budget behind this, because they making these look like some of the most nastiest looking zombies or infected people that you ever seen on TV or movies. Honestly,
I used to watch this show called Face Off, where it was a competition show for movie effects, prosthetics, and stuff
I
like
think I
that.
know what you're
So
talking
like
about.
it came on Sci-Fi Channel. They had like 10 or 12 seasons. They had a good run. But you know, all good things must come to an end. But
Of course.
yeah,
Scare tactics.
like but that shit was like reality TV. It was all a setup.
It was.
I don't care what nobody said. They was in on it. Um, but now you got me thinking about specific episodes. I'm sorry.
Man, Tracy Morgan episode. What we talking about last one? We ain't gonna go there. Oh.
Anyway, but no, the prosthetics, man, hell yeah, they did a good job. Cause like, first of all, to be that close to an infected thing in that dark, dank space, and her not the, bruh, her to just be so bold to just walk up on it. I'm like,
It's
this
the-
might shoot
the
some
fucking
shit
thing
at me.
moving by
She was
itself on the-
sheltered. I guess after, because at that point they had already went through what they had went through at the other building, so I get her maybe not being scared anymore. But like the fact that she had been sheltered for that long, you know what I mean? And like
You talking
this
about
is her
Ellie?
first, this is her first experience in the real world. Because like the way she was talking about oh yeah, and the people have mushroom
Oh.
heads and shit. And they didn't say anything because they was like, how the fuck she know about the...
That reminded me of a
You
good
know-
scene too with them in the car, because she like this kind of like her first experience riding in a car, like in the world, like being in a car.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yo, she's so funny though, because when she was talking about the Mortal Kombat game, talking about she takes off her mask and they had a gnarly teeth and she sucks you up and spits your bones out. And I'm like, yep, she does. Like, yeah, man, that's some shit you gotta
Those are
see.
good
You gotta
moments.
see.
Bonding moments, once again, making you care about these
Good
two
writing.
characters as far as Joel and Ellie, definitely. And
Good
that's why I
writing,
said
but-
this is just not just good outside of being a video game adaptation, but it's a good show. It is.
Yeah,
ain't
because the
saying it's the best, though.
dialogue. Yeah.
It just got a lot of familiar
What you holding out
tropes.
for?
It's good, but it's so many familiar things that you are already expecting because you done seen this play out in other movies and TV shows. No matter what they trying to do, you can kind of call certain things that's coming. And I ain't played the game, but you can see it. You like, I can see this coming. I see certain things you know
I
that
must
it's
say,
coming.
it being based off a video game, I feel like it's what giving that. Because I feel like if they didn't want to or feel like they had to abide to the video game at any point, like maybe it wouldn't be so cliche.
And that's
But
another
I
thing
still-
too. I think so many people who are familiar with the video game are giving it a lot of praise too. And not only that, though, I think they are going
Look at the
so
video
much.
game. Look at the video game adaptations we have to choose from. So I mean, but
That's
this
why
is
though.
also
See, that's
still
the
good.
point. That's the point. They've been
But
so
Green Game
trash,
versus-
but I'm giving it this credit though. It's good outside of just being a video game adaptation. Once again, when we are introduced to Ellie, we're kind of getting them as far as Joel and Tess trying to move her, because we got two individuals that's pretty much going to try to give Tess and Joel weapons, things they need for whatever they trying to do, because I don't think they're
They
trying
want
to
a
move
truck
nowhere.
battery.
Yeah.
They was wanting a truck battery so they can, because I think at this point he was going to save time.
Oh, yes, that is right. Because Tommy was still around. Because I was wondering about him after we left that first episode, first event from 20 years ago. But in the midst of them trying to move Ellie, they run into another military type of situation, because when we get into the apocalypse, it's a whole new type of military thing going on. Once again, this is almost like if you watch The Walking Dead, the new Commonwealth. I ain't making comparisons, but I'm saying though, as far as them already being into them stages of having like this real militant thing going on. You watch when they killed the kid, like they were trying to say, "Lo, you good? It's gonna be all right. You safe." And they immediately took him out and took him to the grave. Took him to the garbage can, pretty much, where they throwing them like trash.
The mass grave of incineration, because basically they just burning dead bodies. I mean, because it was an infected person. I mean, it's like, do you really want that body sitting around with the virus still in it? No, burn it.
It's really that
I don't know.
situation though
I
when
guess
they
because
come
I've
across the
seen
military
they did
again.
the same shit. They did the same shit on Outbreak. Like, you see what I mean? Like, all the movies, like,
That's
it's
what I'm
all the
saying though.
same
See,
shit. I get
that's
what you're
what I'm
saying.
saying.
Yeah. 'Cause-
That's why I feel like it ain't like that intense situation where I'm sitting here like, oh, what's about to happen? I feel
yeah,
like
I get what you're saying. It's nothing new, but at the same time, it
it's
is
good
well
acting.
done. Yes,
That's
good acting. Yes,
Shout out to you what you said to the writing. That's what keeping me
yes,
involved.
because the dialogue is not. It's not where you be like, oh my god, I can't
But
believe it.
Resident
Shut
Evil
the fuck up.
Netflix.
Woo! Anyway, what up,
What's going on,
Tommy?
Tony? Definitely in this.
Hell
Because when
yeah.
they come across this new military, well, not new military guy, because Joel has a kind of familiar relationship with this military guy because he's been selling them pills pretty much. And when he sees him again, when he trying to move Ellie, he pretty much start getting flashbacks of the situation with his daughter. And he ain't having this at this time. He goes full in, beat my man pretty much to death.
I mean, but honestly, the dude was being an asshole. He was like, I'm already doing illegal shit for you, and you ain't even trying to give me like a pass. Like, you know I'm doing illegal shit. Then you are participating in the illegal shit, but then you're gonna try to, like,
This
flex
Joel
your
20 years
authority
later.
muscle. Yeah.
Like, this ain't this same nigga no more. Nah, he's a whole different person. Like, I've been doing some demon shit, so now you ain't nothing. Just another casualty.
Exactly.
So, but this is where we kind of get a surprising situation as far as Ellie. They got this little scanner thing that they can put on your neck to find out if you're infected or not. And Tess ends up putting it on Ellie, and it turns red. And she over there like, Joel.
And
and
Joel
I'm like,
fuck this bitch. Fuck this bitch, you dead.
Kill her.
Joel! Immediately. But he already was not liking the situation because he like, man, you are a detour to where the fuck I'm trying to go. I'm trying to save my brother. And then here you are infected. Fuck you. You in my way anyway.
Man, they've been with me since the beginning. That's all I'm worried about. And that's what he say, family. You luggage. But in the midst of episode 2, we kind of go back to 2003 and kind of get in the very early stages of the fungi infection. And we are going over into, where is it, Japan or Tokyo?
Indonesia.
Oh, Indonesia. My bad. Apologies. But we come across a professor. Because she like, are y'all trying to kidnap me? Damn, I'm eating lunch. I'm chilling. But they like, no, we need your help, man. We need some type of vaccine. And I love the way she came back in there after she seen what was going on. She checked that infected body. She walked back in there like, so as far as the military guy, I mean, you got something we can do? We got some type of medicine?
Like,
so she
virus, the antidote. Bomb.
Like, look,
bitch.
Bomb. Take everybody out, including me. We all got to go. Now, if you don't mind, I need to go holler at my family because this is over. So, this is.
And honestly, that like the whole dude said at the beginning, there is no antidote, there is no vaccine, there is nothing because it's fungi. What you antibiotic? Like that's, and even then, we get antibiotics from fungi.
But you remember when they was talking in the 60s and he was like, we pretty much, I think he said something about we'll lose or it was something he said where that's it. It's done. We fail or we lose. He said something to that extent. But it's kind of what she's saying as far as you need to bomb everything. That's it. Ain't no saving, ain't no. But we flash forward back to the present and we got Joel and Tess talking about your girl Ellie. And they like, Joel is like, we need to kill her. We either need to kill her or take her back. This is it. I don't need to move forward or nothing. But it's something going on with Ellie as far as she not being infected. Seeming like she might have some type of vaccine. And this is kind of going into her blood being the vaccine pretty much. And that's what she tries to explain to Joel and Ellie. And Joel done heard it before. He ain't trying to hear it. He done heard all this before. Ain't no cure. Ain't none of that. But Tess ends up trying to talk Joel into it, and they try to move forward. And this is kind of where we get a whole different stage of infected, which I didn't know what was going on. Once again, I'm not familiar with the game. I do like this conversation that Ellie and Tess have on the roof, because it's kind of Tess being brutally honest with Ellie. Like, I know you seem like you might be kind of immune, like you can't get infected, but they don't stop them from coming after you and pretty much ripping you apart. So, and it's a pretty good scene where they showing the distant scene of the infected and how they kind of like grabbing onto each other, like attached to each other, whatever. And this is where we get our traveling scene where they got to try to get across these buildings and they got to make a decision where to go the long way or the fast way. But of course, the fast way could pretty much be a dying situation, so they try to go the long way. Issue with that is they come across, once again, some type of infected that I haven't seen before. Not only have I never seen before as far as just zombie films, but just in general. And this is kind of where we get into those levels of Resident Evil and stuff, but in a good way. And this is where I feel like Resident Evil, whoever try to do Resident Evil again, need to take notes. We get some things where they can only hear you. They can't see you, but they can hear you. And they are moving like they are fast, and they seem like even if you shoot them, they can't be killed. But we get a real good tense scene, and this is where I was really wanting. Once again, taking those comparisons to The Walking Dead, where we was getting a lot of those early scenes. Y'all remember that whole scene where you had the campus getting overrun by zombies in that first season of The Walking Dead? That kind of took me back to that, especially in this scene right here, where we got Joel, Ellie, and Tess having to be real quiet and move around in this one in particular infected. Y'all let me know in the comments, what is these things called? Because I know they got to be called something as far as the game go, and I'm pretty sure they in the game. But they were very intimidating. And me sitting here watching this, I was trying to be quiet with them. Like, if you ever seen the movie A Quiet Place, it really reminded me of that. And those scenes in particular, where you ain't trying to say nothing. And if you ever been to a theater and people watching that movie, everybody quiet. Shout out Tony, clickers. Okay, clickers. They definitely seem like that'll be something they'll call the way they be acting. But your girl Ellie, once again, being in a new environment, she ain't used to these type of situations. And once they get like a real type of close encounter with one of these clickers, she ends up breathing real hard, and they hear that shit, and they immediately coming after them. And we get a real good chase scene and real tense chase scene. And they're trying to get away from these niggas. They're going all over the place. And it's really the way they attacking. Once again, it seems like they can't be shot or whatever, and they moving so fast you ain't even got time to really shoot them. But it's a good scene, man, but they do end up getting out. How did you feel about your introduction to these clickers? Shout out to Tony giving me the name of these, because I didn't know the name of these. I just like some crazy infected that I had never seen before. And are they a part of the whole fungus thing? Because they look like, and they face look like mushrooms.
Yes, yeah, it's like
a flower or something.
It's kind of like the things on Resident Evil.
That's exactly what it was reminding me of. Like I said, in a good way though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the things.
I don't know
what the joints that be crawling up top of the wall or whatever. They lickers. I think they call lickers.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm saying like what?
Yeah.
I got somebody here. Is that what they call? But
they do got tongues. Okay. That's why I'm like, yes. I don't know. But yeah, they part of the. What do they?
This is what I'm talking about though. As far as how you supposed to do video game adaptations based on zombie type survival horror games, we didn't get none of this in Resident Evil. I was sitting here looking at this like, let me be quiet so they don't hear me when I was watching that scene.
Oh, I knew they was gonna get caught, and I knew that they're trying to rationalize maybe he got hurt, and we in there. And I was like, no, he got hurt in there. Y'all stop trying to kid yourself.
Stop it, Tony. And that's what they call, as far as I know, that's what they call them Resident Evil, them lickers. But I enjoyed this scene. This was probably one of my favorite episodes so far, as well before we got to episode 4, which I did enjoy.
I mean, she was talking about them prior to them getting there, because she was like, yeah, and I heard they got things with mushroom heads, and they both looked at each other and was like, she don't even know the half of it.
You talking about, I don't remember talking about it.
Yeah. Ellie, because she was talking about all the stuff she never seen and asking them
Okay.
about the infected, and that was one of the things that she was like, yeah, and they got heads like mushrooms, and they was like, I'm assuming this wasn't their first rodeo with clickers.
I'm glad I watched this a second time or two, just trying to get familiar with it, because the first viewing, Ellie was kind of like getting me like, Ellie, be quiet. Ellie, y'all are moving through this shit. Like, get with Joel and them. Stop moving around trying to see stuff with it. Please.
It's her first time.
I know, but that's what I
out.
said. That's why I said the second viewing, it kind of helped me, because I was like, okay, I understand now. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think about it. Like, what is she like 14 too? Like, she's 14,
I think so,
and
but
she
still.
and
Ain't you
and
scared?
she
Like,
she was born during the apocalypse, so like this is like everything new to her. She's never been out, just only heard and never seen. Oh, but yeah,
we
this
do.
this didn't surprise me. I knew something was gonna happen.
I didn't, man. This hurt my
I saw
feelings
this
a
coming.
little bit. We
Look,
get into the spot where they supposed to take Ellie, man, and everybody took out. And we end up finding out what happened. One of the military people got infected, and everything pretty much went to mayhem. But in the midst of this, you got Tess pretty much like, we got to find a radio. We got to find something. Like, where you supposed to go next, Ellie? Like, damn, you don't know nothing. And I'm like, Joel, like, nigga, let's go. We got to go home. Come on. And I'm like, no, man. Ellie pretty much calls it out. Tess is infected, and this is where I'm like, I'm liking this at the same time it's making me sad though. Like, no, because we getting familiar with these characters that I'm kind of enjoying, but they getting took out. Once again, Joel's daughter. Now we got Tess, and I'm like, who we supposed to who we supposed to start getting familiar with? But she pretty much tells them to leave. She gonna stay behind. But then we get this real crazy scene with the fungus coming out of the ground, starting to bring people back to life, I'm guessing, or the already infected back.
No, when they showed Ellie the massive amount of affected people rolling around with each other, they told her
And this is the scene on the roof.
Yeah, they told her sometimes the fungus can come up from the ground, and if you step on it or if you're near it or some bullshit like that, it can summon the rest of the infected to come and stop it.
And Joe's upset.
And that's what happened when they killed that one. The rest of the infected were summoned, and they came a running.
Man, this was a crazy scene. But they just come out of nowhere, and just watching the way the stuff started coming out of the ground, it was like, this is something that is different. I wasn't familiar with the way is this the way they are brought back to life, being that they are 20 years later in a fully formed apocalypse? Like, I don't understand. Because I'm thinking they are straight zombies, they dead, they coming back to life, but I didn't know that this shit coming out the ground and is bringing them back to life. So that's something that I do got to get a better understanding of. But in the midst of this, Tess pretty much tries to start blowing up everything, but not before the infected start coming through, and we get a crazy ass scene where we got one infected trying to kiss her, and you got the stuff coming out of his mouth, and the way she's looking while he's kissing her, and I'm like, no, man, no. It looks crazy. But once again, man, I enjoy the fact that we get characters that I'm caring about, but not the fact that y'all taking them out. And I'm sitting there like, who we supposed to be caring about now? But I am enjoying Joel and Ellie. But I was trying to see how we gonna go now, because Joel was already not feeling Ellie. And the fact that he done lost somebody he's been close with through this apocalypse, because of the fact that he's trying to move Ellie to where he's trying to get her to, and the fact that the destination they was trying to take her to happened to be in, gonna be his reaction.
Stop
They
it.
told you what? No, and I definitely don't need to be traumatized with already what's going on. Hell no. But this is kind of what we was talking about when we got to Joel kind of talking to Ellie, and he does tell her not to mention Tess. He like, man, don't talk about Tess, please don't. Let's be quiet about Tess. But we got Ellie telling him too, like, don't be mad at me because y'all volunteered for this. Y'all didn't have to take my ass over here. That's on y'all.
Exactly. Y'all wanted that damn battery, so y'all chose for the y'all chose this. Y'all didn't have to. So I mean, which is true. It's a hard truth that he had to swallow. But this was his mate through the damn. This was
Yes.
his woman. This is his partner
And it's the person
through
that probably seen him do
apocalyptic
all that
situation.
hard, all that
Oh
certain
yeah,
shit that he wasn't happy about, or he wasn't able to live with himself with. But being that he had her, I mean, shit.
right.
But this is where we had the whole gravesite thing. We kind of talked about all this, but this is where we get our flashback to 2003 and our introduction to Bill. He's a survivalist, and he's pretty much waiting on the military to take everybody else away so he can chill on his own because he didn't like people anyway. We good. Like, yeah, go
I
ahead.
feel him on this shit. Like the fact, like I said, the fact that he could live a normal life, take a shower, flush his toilet, wipe his ass with toilet
'Cause he had a
paper.
big ass
Like
generator, like an everlasting generator.
this man was living,
I love this scene
eating
too.
good food,
Yes,
growing his own food. Like
I'm going to Walmart though.
man,
I'm not going to Big Lots. I forgot where he went. I'm going to Walmart though. I'm going to all different type of spots. But I like what he was doing. He was getting surviving stuff. He was making sure he had everything and all supplies he needed. It was a good scene though. But in the midst of Bill pretty much enjoying himself because he able to make fresh steak, like we said, got fresh vegetables, carrots. We kind of moved forward to like 10 years later, if I'm not mistaken, and he kind of been chilling. He been setting up traps, booby traps, not only for the infected, but for people they call raiders. Pretty much in the apocalypse, you got people that want to take what you got or do even more to you. Eat you possibly, or maybe get off what they need to get off. Who knows? But he ends up coming across an individual that gets caught in one of his traps. And if I'm not mistaken, this guy's named Frank. In the midst of this, Frank's pretty much pleading with him like, man, I'm trying to take a shower. I'm trying to eat something, man. I've been out here for a minute. And Bill lets him come in and eat. In the midst of this, though, they kind of get kind of friendly. Bill playing the piano. He's singing. Frank asks him, who you singing about? What woman you singing about? Bill said, ain't no woman. I'm like, oh, shit. And if y'all familiar with my channel, we be on P Valley. Shout out to everybody doing our P Valley reviews or whatever. Sexuality and all of that, or two males, it is what it is. This is TV entertainment. I ain't care about none of that. I was interested to see where this relationship was going to go because, once again, I had to catch up. I had seen people talking about the episode, not the whole thing with them being gay or whatever. They was mostly talking about crying, how this is one of the best episodes. This had me crying. So I'm like, what the hell got y'all crying so much? Throughout this episode, I mean, you got them pretty much living their life through the apocalypse. We get flash forwards, them pretty much living life. They pretty much build a relationship with each other. And the thing about it is, Frank, he wants, to clean up around. He wants to pretty much make the neighborhood look like a neighborhood. Even though it's them two.
That was so funny about it because it's like, bruh, that's first world problems. Everywhere is a third world country right now. Like, and you worried about sprucing up some shit for nobody that's ever gonna see it.
Shout out to Knox Artie. Hey man, I got what you're saying. That strawberry scene. Hey, and that little laugh Bill did, the little I was like, oh man, yeah.
But you gotta think about it. He probably hadn't tasted a strawberry in years.
Yeah.
So,
but
like, to be able to, oh my, like, bro, I have an emotional attachment to food. So, like, being able to eat stuff that you haven't been able to eat in years, like, yeah, that little giggle was funny, though.
I did, though, because, man, I got it, though. I got what everybody was saying as far as those certain scenes, because just watching the character development and watching them build their relationship and the way they was doing certain things throughout the years.
Yo, it was just funny, like their arguments. They arguments. It's like, what the fuck you arguing for? It's infected people. Like,
you already know how it is, Tony. People out here on their goose shit, but that ain't matter. We do get Frank and Bill coming across our introduction to how, I guess, they met Joel and Tess, and this is kind of a backstory to Joel and Tess and how they not how they met, but kind of them and seeing how their relationship had been throughout the years and seeing how they had been with each other for a long time. Being that this is not 2003, this is what 2010 or 2015.
I don't know. They was young. They were both young.
Yeah,
younger. Because Joel said he 50 something.
I think so.
Bro, he just lived a long, like, just thinking about living through that shit.
Yeah. Frank wanted to feel like they was pretty much normal, being that what was going on all around them and all this chaos and whatever. He wanted to kind of make them feel like human.
I get it, but like, bruh, it was hella necessary. But I guess like when you had that time on your hands, why the fuck not? You ain't got shit else to do. Like, literally, you don't have shit else. There's nothing else to do. Ain't nothing to watch on TV. You're not scrolling on your phone. Ain't shit else to do. You might as well go ahead and fix up the neighborhood and paint and shit. And, yeah.
But shout out to Bill, man. Nigga was on paranoid time. He wasn't trying to deal with nobody. Because Frank was like, we might even come across certain people we going to have guests over. Which I understand as far as Bill's point of view. When you got everything that's going on as far as this apocalypse and the way people out here acting and what they would do, I ain't going to trust nobody either. Like, nah.
Nobody. I felt Bill on that for sure.
Because it ain't just about me. It's like, I'm worrying about you too. I got to make sure you good too. It's like, nah. But they do come across Joel and Tess, and Bill is on his P's and Q's. He got it done out at all times. Frank is trying to have a good time. He got Tess like, come on into the house. I want to show you some stuff. Ladies have chilling. Bill out there, Frank.
Yo, I feel, but it's so funny because hasn't Joel basically turned into Frank? Gunning out all the time. Like, just really though. He done basically turned into Frank, like gun out all the time. Just
Joel and Tess kind of more on the road than Frank and Bill. They are in-house. Like, they ain't out there doing anything. They in their whole little neighborhood or whatever. And to make me think about that, I was kind of like, why Joel and Tess didn't stay? It was like, don't they got food and stuff? Like, they kind of, y'all can. Maybe Bill like, nah, y'all can't.
I feel like Joel and Tess didn't really want to stay because, like, didn't they say they was I don't know, going to Boston or something, or no?
Yeah, you know what that made me think about Knox Arden as far as when they out there camping and they got Bill and Frank stuff, and Ellie got Frank sleeping bag, and he like, man, this kind of smell good. And Joe was like, oh, you might say have Frank sleeping bag. Because that's the way Frank kind of kept himself up together with him. Facts, though. But once again, we getting kind of like flash forward to them keeping stuff together, whatever. But we get a scene with these individuals called the Raiders coming in. And you kind of get Joe warning Bill because he's like, yo, you got people that's going to be wanting what y'all got. And, I got
why
things
did that
you can
sound
help
like a
with.
threat? Why did that kind of sound like a threat though too? It sounded like a warning with a threat, and I'm like, do Joel know some people? They know some people.
Remember, Joe was those people. Maybe he was a Raider.
You know what? That's what I feel like it was. Like now seeing episode 4, like it makes sense why he said it like that. But to me, it was kind of sounding like a threat. Like, hey, I'm gonna send my boys after you. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like
it was the fact that Joel had been on the road for so long. He knew it was out here. And see, I know my guys are fatherless or whatever as far as Bill, but Bill hadn't been out there like that. He has been just where he was at.
Contained, self-contained.
Mm-hmm. Give or take, though, they was able to hold their own. Because when these Raiders show up, they doing what they doing. Hey, Bill got these traps out here set up. Niggas getting set on fire. They pretty much dying. And Bill say, nigga, the Fitz gonna kill the rest of them. But he does end up getting shot in the midst of him trying to defend this whole thing they got going on as far as this neighborhood that they pretty much have set up for their own safe haven. I was on the edge a little bit because I thought Bill had died on that table. It was the way, and shout out to Bill, man. He was like, I got a list set up for you. I want you to call Joe because you can't be here by yourself. I'm like, damn. This is showing you that love like they had for each other, especially Bill. Like, he wanted to make sure Frank was good. But at the same note, you got Frank making sure he good. He doctoring on him. Man. Dr. Knox hard, man. Hey.
Look, hey, they had some love bars in this damn episode.
They did.
Like, hell yeah. Like, that's
DeMarco. Hey, Bill was on it. Frank was up there asleep. Frank was up there comfortable. He was like, hey, Bill was out there. He ain't had time to wait. He was knocking some of them off, too. He got distracted by Frank ass, to be honest. But
yeah.
He was already ready. He was prepared. But we do get them pretty much in the midst of this, as far as the situation that happened with these Raiders coming through a flash forward, and Bill did survive, because I didn't know if he survived, but we get pretty much them being old now. Frank is in a wheelchair, and I'm like, damn. This is present time, too, if I'm not mistaken. This is 2023 now. And this is where we at with everything that's been going on. At this point, I'm confused. And this is me coming off watching an episode for the first time, because I've been hearing everybody saying it's so sad or whatever. I'm like, okay, so what's necessarily supposed to happen? Because I'm like, they don't live life. They old now. They good. What's going on now? What's supposed to happen? But you get Frank pretty much telling Bill like he's ready, as far as like he's ready to go. He's in the wheelchair, like he's done, man. He's ready to leave. So he tells Bill to pretty much spike his drink on pretty much their last meal or one of their last dinners or whatever. Mm-hmm. This was a real good intimate moment, a good scene, man. So I'm guessing I'm kind of was getting it. How people crying or whatever. It's like
it's because like instead of they wanted to go out together. Like he was like, you're not leaving me. I'm coming with you. Like this ain't, that like
that too. Why would I want to stay here and I've been living my life with you all these times? Like, no, I don't know. No. What am I gonna call Joe and them? No, I don't want to chill with them.
I mean, also the fact that you can tell that he never had that acceptance from society because of his sexuality. You know what I mean?
I remember that.
He was never. He was.
He did. He apologized for getting old and everything. I do remember that. I got what you're saying though. Can you go into that again?
But yeah, like he never got the experience to like live his truth out loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you gotta remember how the world was, especially towards gay men. Similar to how we saying that people are acting towards this episode or whatever.
Also, you gotta remember how old he was when it first happened too, and what he didn't had to live through, and and how he's always had to like hide that part of himself, and then it's like damn, it took the world to end for me to actually be myself out loud.
That was this whole thing with being a survivalist. That's why he was happy with everything. Well, not happy, but he was like, yeah, y'all go on. I'm not going with y'all. I want to be by myself. I don't want to be with nobody. As far as Bill. But him having that life with Frank for all these many years, it gave him a sense of like, yeah, especially with the whole thing with Joel, because Bill ends up getting a drink with Frank. They take the drink together as far as him spiking it. He spikes his too. He tells him to take him in the room, and they pretty much gonna fall asleep together. This is where we got Joel and Ellie showing back up to Frank's house, and this is when, and I forgot to mention this because Tess does tell in the midst of her dying Frank to take Ellie to well, my bad. She tells Joel to take Ellie to Frank and Bill, and this is where I don't even know who she was talking about at the time, but they do end up showing up.
I didn't know who you were talking about either.
Once again, I ain't played the game. I did go back after watching this episode and check out the video game or whatever as far as the character who they were basing this on, and they don't got none of this in their game.
Is it?
Bill is an asshole pretty much in the game, and Frank is an asshole in the game. That's all I say. But in the midst of Ellie and Joe showing up, we got a letter from Bill pretty much to Joel. And shout out to this letter, man. Because Bill pretty much telling Joe, like, I still don't like you. I don't trust you either. But with this relationship he had with Frank, it gave him kind of like a love for, I guess, humanity, being that he didn't like humans. Pretty much. What's going on, homie? Miss you too, bro.
Homie?
Shout out to you coming through, man. We ain't had you coming through in a minute. Hey, man, you gotta get on it. Definitely gotta get on it. Oh yeah, man. I gotta get familiar because he do look like somebody I done seen him in a couple things outside, I guess, the hair and stuff and the makeup they had going on throughout this episode. Facts, Knox Arden. Yep. That last line, like shout out to Nadia, they had them bars in here, man. They did. I don't remember all the lines, but that's why I kind of get an understanding of why people were feeling the way they was about this episode and why they were saying this is one of the best episodes on television. It gave me a better understanding. It's pretty much about some infected zombie type apocalypse type of show. I don't know if you can call it zombies though, because it's got a lot more going on in it, the homie. It's a post-apocalyptic type of show though. Like if you think about seeing Mad Max, The Walking Dead, it's kind of similar in those veins, the homie. But yes, in the midst of this letter, Bill pretty much says he's gonna leave all this stuff to them. And he asks him not to open the door that him and Frank in as far as the room to leave them be. He did leave the window open so it wouldn't smell bad because they are pretty much dead at this time and moment. Yeah. And he leaves everything. I mean, everything to Joel. And he is supposed to be leaving it to Tess too, but he didn't know that Tess is gone now.
Mm-hmm.
That was my whole day in Knox Arden. I was like, they had it good outside of everybody else who was going through everything they was going through.
Yeah, because they didn't have to. The only thing they had to fight every day is getting on each other's nerves.
That's true, Knox Arden. They had the whole husband out there. But
in the middle of apocalypse.
In the middle. And was able to live a lifelong. But Bill does leave everything to Joel. He leaves in the weapons, food, I think, and he leaves in the truck. The fact that he had it in the refrigerator, so they was able to have that pretty much able to charge and everything. And once again, we did talk about this as far as getting our little introduction to Ellie as far as being in her first vehicle. Like the surprise look on her face, the way she was acting, seatbelts and everything. Like she's not familiar with none of these type of things because she was born into this.
Yeah, the cassette tape.
Take me back. I don't want to go back to cassette tapes, but I'm just saying, man, you used to do your little rapping thing and trying to record on cassettes. But anyway, we get this little moment with Joel and Ellie because, like I said, man, Joel been on Ellie ass, man. He ain't been feeling her, man. And the situation that happened with Tess, he like, but you do kind of telling her, like, I need you to follow the rules, follow everything I say, and that's it. Move forward. Because in the midst of that letter, you got Bill pretty much kind of telling Joel the fact that he didn't like humanity. He kind of was glad everything was going bad. But now that when he met Frank, it gave him kind of that sense of like understanding, like, I got to love people now. And that's kind of Joel's sense, like, okay, help people, save people, because that's what we supposed to do. And this is kind of us going into episode 4. Please hold my hand. This is where we kind of talked about them running to this end of ambush or whatever. And this is kind of us getting Effie coming in, saving Joel. But Joel, I mean, he was kind of holding his own, but he started getting his ass whooped a little bit. Ellie coming in, pulling that gun out that she had kind of stole in the previous episode.
That she stole.
Bill house.
She was asking for a gun. She like, why you itching to shoot a motherfucker? Damn.
It came in handy.
I mean,
but in the midst of them doing what they doing as far as trying to survive, we get introduced to a lady named Kathleen. She's the leader of some type of rebellion group. And this ain't the Fireflies, right?
No, because that was the two things they was like, it's not the government and it's not Firefly, so who the fuck are these people?
Oh yeah, Tony, he own it.
Always strapped.
Got myself a
Hit the
gun.
club. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, the way they faded out from the open window knocks Arden, that was a good little intimate moment, man. Made us feel like I said, Bill and Frank was able to live a good life, man, and able to go out together, pretty much holding each other. They ain't get infected. Nobody went out like getting shot.
Right.
But yes, man, we got this girl named Kathleen. She's pretty much doing some type of interrogation. And the person that my bad, I keep saying Bill. Joe pretty much ends up killing this guy that Ellie shoots because he trying to plead, like, okay, we good. We ain't got to fight no more. Like, nigga, what you mean? You was just about to kill me. No.
Exactly.
It's the apocalypse now. Every man for himself.
Bruh, he told her to get behind the wall. Like, I was like, man, he about to sleep this nigga.
He ain't even shoot him. I thought he was going to shoot him. Then he stabbed him.
No, why waste the bullet? Why waste the bullet when you got a knife? Bruh, first of all, oh, damn, you didn't watch that Indian movie I told you about. Yeah, why waste the bullet? That was like one of their biggest things about don't be wasting bullets.
I got to know what you're talking about. So what you talking about? But
some traumatized colonizers.
The guy that Joe took out is her son, if I'm not mistaken. Because this whole reaction to him, and the guy she interrogating, I'm guessing, was a part of some group that ended up beating her brother or something. That was a part of, I'm guessing he must have been a part of the military, the new military, a part of this new apocalypse or whatever.
I don't know. The dude is a doctor though. The dude that she's interrogating is a doctor. So I don't know. I'm kind of confused by all this because, like, who the fuck is Henry, and why does she want Henry so bad?
Oh, she wants Henry, and that's all she's talking about throughout this episode. And I don't know if the doctor means anything. I don't know if we should have talked about him because she ends up taking his ass out anyway after she found out her son is dead. This is where we pretty much get our full search going on for Henry or the people that Henry has brought in, because the whole focus is her and Henry. That's all she wants. She wants Henry. And she got a whole group of people. Like, she got a whole, like, type of army. She got an army. So the whole thing with Joel and Ellie is they got to pretty much hide out. They got to pretty much stay out of the way until they can pretty much move. Maybe at nighttime. I don't know. Things start to get...
I knew they was going to get ambushed because when the freeway was blocked, I was like, they going to have to go through town and it's going to be some shit in town. Like, Brad, because it seems like they going, I ain't going to say a major city, but like when you got to go through the city and shit.
And Joe was like this way before 20 years later. He wasn't stopping for nobody anyway. I remember when they was in a car with his daughter and Tommy, and he was like, Tommy, like, look, somebody on the side of the road. Joe, like, somebody
just come go. Yeah, hell no.
Somebody else stop. We got a kid too in here.
Bruh, and the daughter was just like, we're not gonna. No, ma'am, not today. No, like trying to explain that shit to a kid because it just seemed like you being really immoral. But at the same time, it's like it's self-preservation at this point. I can't.
Absolutely, at that point, after everything you see that's going on around you, we ain't got time.
It's like, yes, that's like I expect no one to help me. No, I gotta keep my kids alive. They could have been infected
for all you know.
Yeah.
But Kathleen, on her search for Henry, you pretty much see that Henry has somebody that's with him too. And I'm guessing this has to be his brother or something because she mentioned Henry is not going to let Sam go hungry. And I'm guessing whoever she's searching for, he has somebody with him. So I don't know what Henry must have been a part of her brother dying or her giving up something that somebody she loved. Because she also mentions this to the person that she has trying to search for Henry with her. Mm-hmm. The thing that gets crazy is when they come across this room and they got some shit moving up underneath a floor or something. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I'm like, is this the mushrooms? Like, what the fuck? Like,
I don't know. Are we getting something new that we possibly haven't seen yet? Because I'm like, damn, we already got 2 new infected that I haven't seen as far as the mushroom heads. Oh no. Y'all let me know the flaws of people in the video game. Because I think it's a lot more things that's supposed to be in the video games that we possibly haven't seen yet. But yeah, shout out to the guy because he was like, "Yo, I gotta move back. We don't see enough. Henry definitely not in here. And if he is,
fuck
Kathleen,
him.
she's definitely hell bent on finding Henry, and I'm very interested in finding out who Henry is. He definitely somebody that I'm guessing we're gonna meet soon. In the midst of this, we do get this kind of intimate moment between, well, not intimate moment, but kind of a little joyful moment between Joel and Ellie. And
You
it's a
can
moment
say
that,
intimate. Intimate does not mean sexual. Because, people always
explain
relate
this
that
here.
I know what you mean. I know
I
what
ain't
you
even come
mean.
back to people, YouTube.
No, I very much understand. That's why I'm like, intimate is the right word, but people are not going to take it right. So, yeah.
Because Joel and Ellie having a good moment. Once again, this is right before they kind of had that conversation as far as Ellie asking Joel about people maybe he killed, as far as civilians or innocent people.
Yeah, because he was asking her, like, because she talking about that wasn't my first time. When your first time shooting a gun, shooting somebody? Like, what the fuck they had you doing? Right.
Or is it a situation where somebody was trying to hurt her and she had to defend herself? Once again, man, while they are talking, we get Ellie pretty much mentioning something about diarrhea, and it's a good, funny scene because throughout this season, you ain't really seen Joel smile or anything. It's been straight business, straight moving forward, and to see him actually smiling and laughing with with Ellie, once again, it's a dread for me because I'm like, man, y'all making me mad because now something about to happen. What's about to happen to one of them? Because you making me embrace these two people. Like I'm starting to like, oh, look at them laughing. You know how Joe been with Ellie, like he don't want to, like he been, but now you kind of see that he's getting into that real protective mode. You know what's really starting to make me what's making me remind? Damn, I can't get the words out. What this making me remind me of, as far as just these type of movies or these type of situations where you got this guy having to be even though he done been through these traumatizing moments and he kind of this hard guy, he ain't want to do this. Think about movies like Leon, The Professional, or Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, or even Logan recently that we done had, where you got the individuals that they ain't want to do this or they ain't want to be like no babysitter or they done had these real hardships or these real traumatizing moments leading up to these moments or having these intimate moments with these people that they got to protect. Especially a situation that Man on Fire. He did not like it. Man, get out here, leave me alone. In the midst of this, though, they end up falling asleep. Not before he's setting up some traps, though. Not really traps, but just noise-making shit, because in case some people try to sneak up on them. We get two individuals that end up popping up on them. We got this black dude, and we got this little kid. I can only imagine that one of these individuals got to be Henry. One of these people got to be Henry.
Maybe not. I think it's funny because she was like, "Are you sure you gonna hear them?" He was like, "Cause I realize you can't hear him from your right side," and I'm like, "Is that the side that he got shot at the beginning?"
Might be. You right. That might be. Nigga might be tired too.
I mean,
tired.
He's 50 something in the apocalypse.
And they end up laughing all night and stuff. Like,
I don't think. Oh yeah, and like in the woods, he didn't sleep that night before. Because after she started talking about people, he was like, you know what?
I don't know how they
remember
did.
he got up. I would have slept in the car. I would have slept in the car. I would not be on that damn ground. I would have been in the car. If we sleeping in the woods, I'm sleeping in the car.
And I got what he's saying the fact that this ain't really a grounded area for them. And that's another, like, I'm still a little confused how this.
It's mushrooms. It's a plant. Like, damn it, we in the woods. Don't plants grow in the woods? Like, see.
So we under some happening shit. M. Night Shyamalan said somewhere like, "Oh,
that's right."
But
I got too many damn questions. Nope.
I do too. I still got some questions, but I got good questions, not bad questions. I am interested to see who these two individuals are, because they don't look like they there to kind of harm them. They just look like they sitting there because they look scared, to be honest. Especially the black dude. He's scared.
He like, why you in my building?
The little boy don't like, be quiet too. You'll say anything, I'm gonna pop your ass.
Don't scream.
But that's our last episode. We are caught up finally. Man. Shout out to everybody who coming through this week. I'm caught up on everything. BMF. I done done my live reviews of everything.
Look, you caught up on everything, and then they about to drop you this damn weekend.
So you get to binge that. I ain't gotta wait on episode.
Right. We gotta wait on that. Oh, what are we supposed to be doing Sunday?
I was gonna ask you about that. I wanted to do Clockers, but I was gonna ask you. I wanted to do Straight Outta Compton. I hadn't reviewed that before, and I was thinking since Black History Month, they seem like a one that I ain't seen in a long time. Would you want to do that instead?
I've never.
And we don't got to, because I'm good with Clockers too. Either way, both of them ones that I ain't haven't watched in a long time.
I've never seen either one of them, so.
Oh, we good in Straight Outta Compton. I want to do Straight Outta Compton then.
Okay.
I can't believe it, man. What? We good with that though, but let me know too. If you can't try to find a network to watch it, I'll do a live watch party if you want to.
Okay.
Straight Outta Compton. But anyway, shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate y'all coming through. Shout out to Knox Orton. Make sure you come through and subscribe, man. We got a lot more things we're going to be talking about. Got a lot more shows, movies, and we do a podcast on Fridays, Uncut Hits Talk. Definitely come through. And shout out to you coming through, being more familiar with the show. We are going to be doing more Last of Us live reviews now that we caught up. So we only got to do one episode now. So it ain't going to be too long. Be able to come in and talk about everything we want to talk about and get out. But outside of that, tomorrow I'm supposed to do snowfall predictions for y'all. I might not do that. I'm just let y'all know because I've been in this week. I've been going in. Maybe not. We're gonna see because snowfall don't come out for 2 weeks, so I can probably hold that off. If don't, then I'll let y'all know what I got coming up. Do we got anything coming up besides Friday and Sunday? I don't think.
Unless you wanted, I know we talked about maybe doing you predictions.
Okay. Thursday then if we do. If I don't do that tomorrow, I'm gonna fall back and just wait till we do something Thursday or Friday then.
Okay.
So tomorrow Wednesday, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I gotta keep my days over here. So just let me know. We can do that Thursday then. You predictions. Don't you come out Thursday?
Don't you come out tomorrow?
No, come out the 9th. So that is Thursday.
Well, I guess we ain't predicting nothing.
Maybe
because if we predict something, somebody be like, "Y'all already watched it." Like, no.
I doubt it though. Nah, I'm probably gonna chill. I'm already calling it. I'm probably gonna chill tomorrow. Man. I'm just let y'all know.
I don't blame you.
But anyway, outside of that, once again, shout out to my cousin Dia for coming through and joining me. I appreciate it. This was one I did enjoy, and I'm enjoying the show. So we will be back for more live reviews. I just got to see the day we're gonna try to do them. More than likely, we might try to do them on Tuesdays. I know they got an early episode coming out Friday though this time, so it's gonna be mayhem kind of this weekend. We're gonna see what we can try to fit everything in, because it is going to be about you though. Last of Us, I like you, but you. And if I'm not mistaken, we ain't had too many episodes of you. I think it's only like 5, because it's only part 1.
I mean, that's
more than likely they might be like an hour and some change. More than likely.
That's all. That's why I'm like, depending on. I don't care. I don't care how many it is. I'm just happy it's back.
Hey, Joe need to get one of them Joe hats. Tony, he need to get him a Joe hat. Maybe he can keep out effect when these infected people and these raiders. If he had one of them Joe hats. Anyway, man, make sure y'all be looking out for that. Maybe this weekend, but more than likely we're gonna do you review next week, depending on how we doing our schedule or whatever. But once again, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell, let you know when I upload new videos. Once again, I appreciate everybody who was able to come through and join us. Shout out to my co-hosts for coming through. We out.
Hey.